What's up, guys? Yesterday, we heard directly from President Joe Biden, who addressed his top two concerns right now for our nation. He was talking about inflation. What we might need to pass as far as legislation goes is Biden versus inflation. And Biden is losing. We are hearing the American people are not happy with how things are in the economy with this 40-year high inflation and record high food and gas prices. We are hearing calls for stimulus checks, gas stimulus checks, TriTech credits, and an assortment of direct assistance payments to go out to people. Because right now, things are pretty bad. Yesterday, he released a new plan. Biden's new transition economy is just Build Back Better 3.0. His plan to fight inflation isn't fooling anyone. In addition to that, his second top priority, which actually has taken precedence at this moment over stimulus and the economy, Biden calls for 9mm high-caliber weapons and suggests banning them. President Biden visits the site of the mass occurrence in Uvalde, Texas over the weekend. This shook up a lot of people yesterday as he came out and said those 9mm are high caliber and need to be removed. Now, as you know, as I mentioned, some of the calls have been for stimulus checks. We have calls for fourth checks won in the Senate for $600 to low-income individuals, and we've heard a call for a fourth federal level check to go out to everybody in the nation for $1,000. Let's see what the president had to say about 9mm. Talking about if there is one element that could be most successful now, Biden said, "It's hard to say because I'm not negotiating with any of the Republicans yet. I deliberately did not engage in a debate about that with any Republicans down, so I don't know what I know that makes no sense to be able to work with something that can fire 300 rounds. I know what happened when we had regional should be 4 back down. And so with only one reason for something fire 100 shots. When I first started doing hearings on the issue of what rational gun laws could be during the period when I was a senator and the death rate was going up, there were many more people will be shocked if you are not sure. It was probably hospital in New York, whatever the largest trauma hospital. When I asked them, what's the difference? Why not every shot? This is not 20 years ago. Why are they dying? And they showed me our x-ray. She said a 22 caliber for floating along, we can probably get it out. Maybe a 9mm bullet blows the lung out of the body. So the idea is high caliber weapons. Simply no rational basis for self-protection funding. The second was never absolute. You couldn't buy a cannon. When the Second Amendment, you couldn't go out and purchase a lot of weapons, and those who not many are saying anymore. But there was a while there were people were saying that, the fear of liberty is watered with the blood of patriots. And what we have to do is that take on the government on the wrong. Well, to do that, you have to know you need a goal. I have a goal, so I know you want Congress to act. If you believe as president, you have a particular responsibility now. He also thought that there is a realization of the far of rational Republican, so we heard him say this is going to be a priority. They want to make some changes and pass some legislation, and this shook things up quite a bit. Now we are going to be seeing what unfolds. As a matter of fact, we heard that over the Memorial Day weekend, there were going to be executive orders and executive actions made to have with stimulus in our economy, and that got pushed to the side due to these events that took place. Now we are hearing that while they are going to be arresting this, they are going to be planning things for our economy. Yesterday, the president met with Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell and White House Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Talking about what's unfolding, we are hearing the plans that Biden is releasing are pretty much Build Back Better 3.0. He is saying he is going to get the economy back on track, but Americans are saying he's not doing enough and they are not happy and his approval is down. He said, he was chairman his day and Secretary Yellen to discuss my top priority already. Matt is addressing inflation, and in order to transition from historic recovery to a steady growth that works for American families, my plan is to address inflation starts with a simple proposition: respect the Fed and respect the Fed's independence, which I have done and I will continue to do. My job as president is not to not only nominate highly qualified individuals for that tuition, but to give them the space they need to do their job. I'm not gonna interfere with their critically important work, fit his dual responsibility, one full employment to a stable crisis. Chair Powell and other leaders of the Fed have noted at this moment they have a laser focus on addressing inflation just like I am. And it was a larger complement of board members now confirmed. I know we've used those tools in monetary policy to address the rising prices for the American people, but look forward to Chairman Powell's continued leadership at the Fed. They look forward to the Senate considering my final nominated the board, Michelle Barr, in the near future.